Hey guys, Anthony Jones here with the Top Gun John Boat, and this video is about interior boat carpet on a budget. Now, I'd like to say before I get into it, if you subscribe, thank you. If you have yet to subscribe and you like the content, go ahead and do me a favor, man. Click that subscribe button. If you want to see more pictures of my boat and the build process, go over on Instagram and follow me at AWJones. There's plenty of pictures there. And also check out the Facebook group Tiny Boat Nation. It's a great group, 20,000 plus members strong. Lots of content on there as well. Now, as far as this video specifically with the Top Gun John Boat, I've actually crammed in this boat the cheapest carpet money can buy at Home Depot. I've got like $60 worth of indoor-outdoor carpet. I've got like $30 worth of glue, and believe it or not, probably the most amount of money out of all of it is in my stainless staples. But I think for like under $100, maybe even under $75, depending on what kind of John boat to bass boat conversion you're doing, you could do the same quality work that I've done in this boat, and I'm going to show you in this video, specifically in your boat. So you don't have to have the most high-end, luxurious, most expensive carpet, because if you spend high-end money but you do a low-end job, you're going to come out with a low-end product. But you can put a cheap outdoor carpet like I'm using in your boat, but do a high-end job and it'll look really good. I've gotten a lot of compliments on social media, so I just figured I'd put this video out because I didn't spend the most amount of money on carpet. I really didn't. I went very low end on this on the carpet. And so but there are some specifics I did and some tips and tricks that I did to give it a really professional grade look. And so that's what this video is about. So watch it, like it, subscribe. Thank you guys. I hope you get some use out of it. And we'll catch you on the next one. Thanks. All right, so I'd like to just tell you before we get too far how I cut these panels. When I cut all these panels out, obviously this is going to have a section that goes around these two panels. Okay, just like up front, I've got this panel right here that has this lip that goes all the way around this, and then it goes all the way around this. You see that? So if you just envision one sheet of plywood and I'm cutting all my hatches out, boom, 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 boom. Okay, same thing back here. It was one sheet of plywood and I cut that hatch and I cut that hatch. Excuse my voice, man. This pollen is killing me in Athens, Georgia. So once I cut my hatches out, I take 1/4 of an inch off of each hatch. Okay, and then you're gonna have a gap. All right, don't worry about that, because what's gonna happen is that carpet's going to be 1/8 of an inch and 1/8 of an inch. So when I cut this hatch out and it was straight up wood, I took 1/4 of an inch off all the way around. And what that did was it compensated for the 1/8 of an inch that I add the carpet here and the 1/8 of an inch that I add the carpet here, because that carpet's going to wrap around these edges. And then you're going to have a tight fitment. So I would just, I would say when you cut your hatches, make your hatches around your framework 1/4 of an inch smaller if you're wrapping carpet. That way you got your 1/8 for your carpet and then the 1/8 for your carpet on your panel that's going around your hatch. And then should be a tight fit, if any of that made any sense. All right, so next, here's the tools of the trade. This is straight up Home Depot special gray carpet, outdoor carpet. I would have sprung for the marine carpet, but I started this boat so long ago, I didn't envision for it to be this crazy of a build, and I carpeted panels and just started. This is what I'm going with. So maybe on the next build I'll do marine grade or bass boat carpet, but we'll see how this goes. It's not expensive, man. This is like a 12 by 5 foot roll that I just picked up, and it was like 25 bucks. It's 40 cents a square foot. Okay, so staple gun, you got your glue, indoor outdoor carpet adhesive. Selling point right there, baby. Now for use on boats. All right, they must know the Tiny Boat Nation is growing strong. Okay, we've got staples. Now I use stainless, and I believe on here it does say stainless steel. Okay, 1/4 inch. My decking on my boat is only 1/4 of an inch, guys, because I'm going super lightweight, and it's all in my framing, the structural support. I'm not relying on decking for strength. So stainless, these are like 10 bucks, 11 bucks. Stainless, a lot more expensive, I'm just gonna warn you, but they won't rust out. Now I spray paint mine a Rust-Oleum gray. That way, if it's a lid that you're gonna lift up, you won't see the staple through there. So that's a little trick. Actually learned that from Michael Lopez on one of his videos. So thank you, Michael. Man, I use these. I'll show you how I use these. You're gonna need a razor knife, obviously. Straight edge for cutting the carpet straight instead of eyeballing it. The old Easton hammer. It's hammer time, baby. And then your spreader for your glue. And I'm gonna show you. There's two edges. It says that the thicker edge is for use on wood or subfloor, and this is for pre-existing. So this is obviously for laying carpet. But I use the thicker edge. Okay, see that? That's the edge I use when I spread the glue. So thinner, thicker. I use the thicker. Another little trick is I'll razor knife these up into like 3 pieces. That way if I'm doing small compartments here and there, I've got like little pieces like that. So I get more use instead of one big giant one. Okay, before I go back here and cut this piece of carpet for this panel and show you how I'm gonna wrap it, I do want to go over one more thing real quick, okay? And I think it's important if you want your carpet to look really professional. Some people just don't care. They just want to get carpet on it. Me, I'm an OCD anal freaking person, so I like my stuff to be as perfect as I can make it. And I think it's why I get so many compliments for people that have seen this boat. Why my carpet looks so good is it's the attention to detail. See this carpet and see how you've got that vertical bead on your screen from top to bottom. Can you see this bead? I think that has something to do with how they manufacture it. Okay, if you go this way, you're not going to see any bead at all. Okay, and if you do, it's side to side now. So every panel in my boat that I've cut with that bead running front to back of my boat. So my entire casting deck, all the carpets matched. Okay, my side panel, my flooring, my middle bench, my flooring, and then as we go into the back of the boat, so on and so forth. Okay, now so all my carpet in my boat is running front to back. So that's one trick that you can do. All right, now let's step it up a notch. Not only is it run front to back, and I hope that the camera can pick this up. It might not, but I'm gonna try. My carpets run front to back, but it's also, let's do this, since this one's not bolted in. You're not gonna see it here in this lighting. You can see it here. Okay, now I just flipped that panel. Do you see how this is darker than this now? Can you see that? You might not ever notice it, but that is the light reflecting off of this carpet, okay? And it sounds crazy. I do turf work for a living, and so we stripe up like baseball fields and football fields, and people always wonder how we stripe it up, but all we're doing is rolling grass over to reflect light to give you the pattern that you see. It's the same thing here. I talked to the carpet guy. He says, based on how the manufacturer puts that clear on that carpet, and it comes off the assembly line, and you're gonna get a different light reflection. So that's why this is darker now, just by me turning it around. Now watch this crap. Boom. Now it's light. Now it matches. Now it's the same color. You see that? So, call me crazy. I'm gonna do it again. But I've also matched up how see, that's darker. And you know, some people might not notice it, but that to me sticks out like a sore thumb. So you can't really see it from this side. It's all about how the light hits it. So anyhow, not only am I cutting all my carpet front to back directionally, but I'm pretty much, if you can envision rolling out a whole roll of carpet over here, I'm taking each panel out and I'm putting it on that roll of carpet and I'm cutting it. Ignore this driveway, it's a rental. I'm cutting that carpet based on how it's gonna go back in the boat, so everything matches up perfectly. So that's just another thing, man, because I'll tell you, I got in a pickle back here and I wrapped one of the most intricate pieces, which is actually this piece that's going around these two panels here. I wrapped that part and somehow I got discombobulated in my head, and I had that carpet turned around, and when I put it in the boat, dude, it was so different. It popped so badly between these hatches and that up there. It was dark, just like up front, stuck out like a sore thumb. And once I knew it was there, I knew I had to rip all that carpet back off that part. So don't do what I did and make a major fail like that. If you want it to look great and you want everything to match, cut it directionally, right, you know, roll your roll out and then mark your roll up and down, and then every panel you cut out for your boat, you just make sure it's all facing the exact same direction. It's all going off that roll the same way that it's going to go in your boat, and then everything will match up. You won't have any color variations. All your beading will match up. I know I'm going on and on about this, but that's how I did this part of the build, and I think it's important for giving you that professional look. Alrighty, all I'm going to do here is you can see that's the part that I cut out for the live well cover. So it's going to be the same width. You could get crazy and you can measure how much you want your lap to be. I'm just going to eyeball it. But what I do, because these laps, when I roll them over, I'm going to staple them, and I don't plan on trimming again. So what I do is I take this, this is just a board, but man, it's a straight board. I take this as a straight edge. I'm going to line it up right here. I'm just going to eyeball it. Again, you can measure, but I can see I got a pretty good eye. So I'm just going to go with this, and then I'm going to take my razor knife, and I can't do this. I need a GoPro, but I'm just going to cut it. I'm just going to hold pressure on this board, and I'm going to use that, and I'm going to cut it, and that's going to give me a perfect edge. Boom, done. See how I did that? And see how when I center it up, that's going to be, let's see how that looks. So pretty close to perfect. And now I'm going to show you how I do the glue. All right, so I've already kind of done some of this, but all I'm doing is I'm just taking this spreader, again with the bigger side, and I'm just spreading this out, okay, really evenly. And I try to make sure I get my edges really good, because I did a few parts in the beginning when I didn't really know what I was doing, and the edges for me were the place most prone to like roll up. So anyhow, I'm going to continue to glue this and on to the next step. All right, so all glued. Now I cut this piece off of this way, and I had it lined up to how it was going to go in the boat. So I'm just going to verify. I'm just going to lay this here and make sure that it matches up. Okay, it looks good. Same color. Okay, so this is the direction it needs to go in the boat. So I'm just gonna make a mental note that this is the front, towards the front of the boat, because I'm gonna have to flip this over and wrap it. So I'm just gonna make a mental note this is towards the front of the boat. You could take, sometimes I'll take painter's tape and I'll stick it on here. That way, it just as an extra precaution, but I'm just gonna make a mental note on this one because it's a little small piece. All right, so just center it up and lay it down, and then I'm going to step on it, and this is where my trusty Easton hammer is going to come into play. I showed this on my other video. Just gonna flip this bad boy over, and just gonna use my weight and just roll it out. And just put a lot of pressure on it and get the edges real good. This baseball bat works great. All right, so I showed this in my boat trailer video, but I'm going to show this here as well in case you haven't seen that one. So a lot of guys, I'm sure, and I didn't think of this until I literally said I needed more leverage one day and picked up some pliers. But you know, I used to have, like I said, had trouble with it wrinkling and not getting as tight as I could get it because there's only so much I could grab with my hands. And I figured out if I grab this wrench like this, and you could stand on the panel, you could yank on this as hard as you can. And look at this. You could get that way over, and then you just staple it. And that really beats what you can do with your hand. This gives you way more leverage. And so this is how I do it. I'll just I'll pull it over and I'll staple it, and I'll just keep working my way down. And that's how I get really tight edges. All right, so I've stapled everything around as tight as I can get it, but the corners. Now, again, this is a little trick I do. Nobody taught me this, so if somebody else has figured this out or has done this, then that's cool, man. You figured it out too, but you know, a lot of guys you'll cut this, and then you'll cut this. You could cut it around, but the issue I started having was
then there's nothing preventing this corner from rolling. And then a lot of times you'd see some wood on your corner. So I started thinking there's got to be a way to kind of roll this under without having all this excess, you know. And so I'm going to show you what I came up with. All right, so what I've got here is you've got your edge where everything's just stapled tight. I staple all the way up until this point, okay? All right, and you've got this excess. Now over here, you see what I did? So you see this? You see that? So all I'm doing is I'm cutting out and I'm cutting up. I'm leaving this little tiny sliver, okay, off the back. All right, and then what you can do is you can take your pliers, all right, like so, and you could it's hard to do this phone, and you just bend it over and you pull it tight and then you staple it. And when you do that, okay, you pull it tight and you staple it like so, then it's gonna look like this right here. It's gonna look like that. It's gonna be a perfectly rolled corner. It's gonna be a rolled curved edge, and it looks awesome. And I think that there's more strength there too, because you're rolling that corner over, folding it over, that little sliver, and you're stapling it. So it's tying these two pieces together and that corner. And that's how I did every cornered edge on my boat. And I think that's just another detail that kind of stands out when people look at the carpet work. So again, that's how I did that. If I had a GoPro, I'd show you step by step me cutting this out. But you kind of get the idea. All I'm doing is cutting that triangle out and leaving that vertical sliver on the corner. See what material I'm taking out. And then that's how I do my corner. That's just another trick. That's it. This panel is done. Probably the smallest hatch in my boat, which is maybe why I decided to make this video on this quick little wrap job. But again, the gray staples, they don't stick out as much as a shiny silver one. And just one of the details, the rolled edges is another detail. Using a straight edge to cut your carpet to give you that symmetrical look, and then making sure your beads match up, and then making sure the carpet color actually matches up based on the angle of the light. So got a couple more panels to go, and hopefully I'll be in the water sometime soon. But guys, leave a comment if you actually utilize any of these techniques. Hopefully it'll help some people. And like, subscribe. I'm on Instagram, it's at AWJones, and then of course here on YouTube, Anthony Jones. Like and subscribe. Thank you guys. Have a good one.